Yeah, we are again in the new recording. We're gonna wrap this up a bit. Let's see a bit. Let's see for a second. We are 3 minutes behind. This looks. Oh, 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 oh. This doesn't look good. Best thing you can. No, this isn't good. Really. Um. Best thing you can do on that side is entrench yourself in the town because you're not gonna get that one. Also, it's difficult as of yet to get that one because these are usually the open fields for tank rushes and tank attacks. So you either way want IS-2s on high veterancy, maybe through a commander and a combat, and yeah. Here, however, it is quite easy to push the distance from this position to that one is well 600-700 meters, and so you have a bit of yeah, it's 600-700 meters. So let's say from here, so 600-700 meters, you're covered by the buildings. You'll be covered by the buildings. So he's definitely getting a lot of AA, which is quite what I would recommend also in that kind of situation, because as you can see here, he's early Dornier, ground attack plane, of course, 4 times, and he's getting a Sukhov up. Whoa, I think so. AA is successfully suppressed, and he's trying to go for it with his ground attack plane. Now this is a bit late. He didn't notice. Oh, they get a lot of AA. They've got a lot of AA. I on his side would recommend pulling out now, because this plane is probably maybe gonna go down. Also, what he didn't realize, this is a turret stuff. Yeah, so yeah, this is exactly what I thought would happen. He will lose the majority of his airplanes in this first run because because he flew right up to the spawn. Never fly up to the spawn of another guy. Yeah, so he lost 2 aircraft in this attack. 2 relatively valuable aircraft. This is the worst thing he could do. But this guy is now spawning in at Panzer. And this A20 Zeta Sukhov can go for ground strafings now, and yeah, this is what I would recommend. But they have flags here, they are covered by the enemy flag positions and made to retreat. And as idiot, he forgot one thing. He forgot to occupy the fucking town! Sometimes stupidity knows no name. But of course he's standing there with a Jagdpanzer 4, a Panzer A. This is not what you should do at that position. You shouldn't position yourself here for first. Would be the first recommendation of myself. As you can see, 1,000 meters sideline up to the hill. Next, if he has AT guns up here, you are an easy target for that. If he has, for example, AT guns sighting here or there, at least you can tell he's got a bit of AA, but this is... Oh, this looks just bad for him. What is he trying to do with that? Oh, he just hits the pan. So, yeah, this is very recommendable. He killed the Panzer, so there's not much stopping him now from engaging there. He's pulling on a PO-20. He's pulling on a PO-20 reconplane, and now the other ones are engaging, but they are on the bridge. And are they gonna find their end? Yes, both find their end, and this is also why I would have positioned them there, because there you can hide in the back your yawns, idea how this is called. So he's pulling in for against the scout planes. Scout planes you get with AA, because yeah, M17 does a great deal of suppression, and he forgot. And this is probably gonna go down as I see it. Oh, it's already smoking. Oh, now the long range AA. This is a close match. You know, if your planes are going to smoke, then this is a problem. Of course, getting those into there is always a good recommendation, but the Perry PBSH are the worst units you can get for the job. They might have some close combat capabilities, but Strikes are definitely better at that range, because you have 4-man squads and they do go down quite easily. So if he was to decide, to push in there, then there's his chance. Zukov is back, and it's probably going to be score 1 kill. Oh, this is punishment. You fly right into the AA, and that is what we call punishment. They're in the open. You can spot them, engage them with artillery, not with AA. But this is exactly what I would recommend. Also, get yourself some resupplies, man. This can't hit because heat shells have just 800 meters range, which is good for him, but it's gonna be annoying. And if this Panzer decides to come in, it's not very good. So what can he see? He can see... oh. That was lucky. That was lucky at range. Let's see the range. Well, even if it was him, he was over 1,500. Let's say 1,700, 1,800 meters away. This is wow. Lucky hit. With 145 penetration. This could just have been 145 penetration. So armor cracked. This is if your tank takes too many. As far as I know, this is if your tank takes too many hits. He gets the event armor cracked, which leads to never go in without drinking. Never go in without drinking. We have the Dornier above, which is. Why did you do that exactly? Let's just hope I got a weird feeling. Turn your guns to efficient shot. Because at that range you're not gonna hit anything with them. Also, heat shell, what many people don't realize, heat and AP shells have vastly different ranges. Heat shells might be able to penetrate everything, about everything, but have really low accuracy. Then AP shells are not useful for that. What you would do in this situation, you would get AT back here and try to entrench yourself as good as you can here in this back position, in this backwards position, anyway till phase A. So I guess he did the typical fault for that. AT guns, gun shoot at him, gun shoot at him, gun shoot at him. till his panzer's going to fall back, and then it's gonna be his end because, well, armor cracked or something like that. Next, what are they doing? They're engaging the engineer. Yeah, this is not going well. It's not going to go well. If he would manage his stuff a bit better, then he would have, so to speak, better chances of that winning that. The Soviets now got a minor defeat in. The Panzer III is the right man for that position because he has a very high fire rate. 7 rounds a minute at double veterancy. I think this is how many? 5 rounds a minute. This is, I think he has a boosted fire rate, and so faster you fire, the higher your fire rate gets. So I guess so faster you fire, the higher your fire rate gets, which will lead to you. Oh my, they don't stand a chance at that range, sorry. The field guns have, for my opinion, a too high fire rate, so they can take down at longer ranges infantry pretty quickly. It is like he doesn't pay attention to his units. And as far as I know, this is really pretty much able to, well, this should be pretty much able to, as far as I know, to panic Puma. But he got the higher fire rates using triple veterancy, I guess, and there he goes. Puma through the veterancy, and it's dead. But we're gonna see some CF-3485 unaccompanied by any veteran, and we got the new ground strafing airplanes who are probably wanna get for the one killed, but we might have one down. If you face such a situation, boost the veterancy on your AA, because in that kind of a situation you're very likely to you are very likely to be encountering enemy units, and if you have fire veterancy, this means higher fire rate on your AA gun. This will mean higher fire rate. Also, I got a weird feeling he isn't microing his units. This IG is right for the position where it is, but because it will deal good panicking. There we go, and he's giving the Panzer a good chance to get his veterancy up, which will lead to him soon landing a few shots and not just bounces. Yeah, so he apparently got the crew panicked. This was a fuel explosion, and he's pushing this further forward, and his armor crashes. So that's a good start for the beginning. Next, you want to get some veterancy for your AA. This means it would be pretty useful to get a veteran on your AA stuff. This, however, didn't break good. You should maybe try to kill that one, especially with artillery. You should get artillery if you can, or at least a resupply, or at least steal a resupply. Though his engine is down, and he now has the best chances to engage that one. They're trying to, in that case, in that kind of a situation, they're very useful at trying to load us killed. This is not going well for the T-3485. Loaders killed at that kind of range. This is not good. This isn't good. This town is basically unrushable, but this position, if you manage to, is not unrushable. It's more easy to rush, but It's more easy to rush for Soviets than the town for Axis. But how to say? Why isn't he should be getting his AT gun up now? I really would recommend putting this in the back lawn. So, oh, look who's getting his AT gun up! Wow, wow, respect for that one. Well, if you manage to do the right thing, this is very unrushable, but this is also very easily to defend. So I would recommend someone with heavy tanks coming up. Also, I find people often not use is putting your stuff on efficient shot. Efficient shot somehow bugged at my game, bugged because instead of shooting at 50% penetration as I turned it in, it is at a oh no, veteran for that. Oh, this is gonna be painful. This is gonna be a painful lesson to not get veterancy on your gun. Oh, this is painful. Also, yeah, oh, infantry field can engage that. Oh, they have enough feature HE shots. While I'm watching, so this is going down. So, yeah. Oh, this might actually be helpful. If you would be aware of that situation, I would recommend strafing that because it has very low armor. The question is, what are you gonna do about the AA gun? Yeah, there's everything. And there it goes down. Oh, no. Too sad. Actually, it's too sad. Let's look at it. Yeah, you have a crater plate in your lawn. It's definitely no war crimes committed here. Let's see, is anyone committing war crimes like shelling towns? Yes, they are good guys. But this goes gotten down pretty easily if you see that it's impossible for you, if you, for example, see that it's impossible for you to rush certain positions with planes, then don't do it. Next, this position is, in my opinion, as I always know it, it's very not easy to defend. It is most of the time very ill defended. They are trying to rush after us, but they have a great disadvantage. They can't engage at range, just 100-meter range. This is all the range their weapons have. Oh, and this is good down for them. Are they pincer moving? Yes, they are. Good idea. Good idea. But I would retreat that. But transmission's damage, and that's the end of the pencil. Bounce on that one. And what do we have here? Some Shermans coming up. Gun is jammed on the tank destroyer, and he definitely has some better situational awareness than the other guy. And this it wouldn't surprise me if this guy would die pretty soon. Because the M1A5 tank destroyer can fire throughout that with APCR. This is a perfect tactic. Use them as shield and use that as what was it again? I don't know the English term for that. Let me Google it quick. They might be pushed heavily out of there. But this is AA, and he parked his commander too far at the front. Now he isn't gonna get any veterancy because his commander's dead. So take this one as a lesson. Always conceal your commanders. This would be very easily to rush if he got pioneers. Good job. He got the right units, but no situational situational awareness, so they were destroyed before they could even embark. But the tactic he used was a pretty good tactic for the US Americans with their tanks and tank destroyers. Using tank destroyers as hammer and the heavily armored Sherman as anvil. Try to deflect shots with the heavy armored Sherman and kill it with that. And this is Deathman's. So this is his greatest fault, not to micro his units. He might think, yes, I'm so big, I'm a German, I can put panzers down here, and I'm such a good player because I have panzers. But no, if you have no situational awareness what to take out first, then you're pretty much gonna lose. The Jumbo is not doing or wants to do you any harm. The Jumbo has just 90% penetration, which is at that range rather well joking. Let's wrap things up. We're already at phase B. The time I think is definitely playing in favor of the Allies. So they're getting that one up. They're firing their strike here at their pioneers, as we consider, and I think they might lose that position on a wider scale. To his defense, no? Bullyneck. To his defense, Bullyneck is the only one who has. Bullyneck is the only one who has heavy tanks at that position. So he is getting rushed by 3 players. Oh my. Next is he, but you should get a help marker up now. Next is he definitely invested in the wrong things. He's already firing without AP, so this is the disadvantages of the Comrade. They are pretty difficult to take down for the Ice 2. They're pretty difficult to take down, but they are also pretty difficult to kill, and they're out of ammunition, out of to kill, but they don't have a lot of ammunition, so make sure you have a supply near them. So he's making the pincer move from there onto that position. His AT gun will face the wrath of the Shermans because with AP it only has 145mm of penetration. The next stuff would be from Defend Duck, so I would recommend placing here a commander, leader, because he has a radio. You can expand the range of the commander with a radio or through a radio, so he's getting problems now because he's getting massively rushed. No ammo here, so he's definitely saying the right thing towards his teammates, and I think I'm pretty surprised that they are still making grounds. But 2 players versus 4 on this side. That's a 2v4 at that side. This means it should be what is it? Let's see if some of the other players are exactly at this position. So this means 2 versus 4. This means this is a 2v4. That means on the other side it's 8v6, so this is definitely getting into his advantage. They have the Sukhov coming up, the Cobras, and this is again one of the moments. What should your AA target? Should your AA target A, the Sukhovs, or the retreating Cobras, which you won't kill? If you, for example, let's say we can kill the Sukhovs, if you say, for example, we can't kill the Sukovs, and he's definitely focusing on the right thing, I'm proud of him. Now he is realizing too late that his AA gun is out of anything. He is also realizing that he is basically not in a situation where he has any kind of good AA. He hasn't even that flag swilling, which means he's gonna go down. As units here are with the edge to the wall, they can't retreat any further with that because they're not panicked. They need to end panic as soon as possible, but as you can see, it's taking quite a while for them to unpanic. And if they would, for example, you should also go to engage your stuff here. Transmission is damaged. You should also get that Panzer G up if you're gonna have it. So yeah, it's falling back. He's communicating quite good, but this is his problem, in my opinion, or that is, in my opinion, his problem. He seems aware that they are indeed IS-2s, but I think they have the 1943 variant, which will lead to them not being as effective as the IS-244s. I think they were IS-244s and 43s, and they're definitely not getting the 44s up. So we see here the BR5 280mm artillery gun, which is quite the excellent howitzer, because it just can kill basically most things. So what is here what they could gain? Basically they could gain the flag here and they could gain the flag there, which makes it not really, how to say, it doesn't make it really intriguing to push here. Yeah, but they are having definitely preparing one or the later, sooner or later they're preparing a good rush instead of digging themselves in. This is not gonna happen. This is a bad idea. That is a bad idea in my opinion. They're targeting the backline with the Beutestalin. This is definitely a 43. How much armor disease? How much accuracy? This is 43. 44 has, as far as I know, the 44 has definitely the 44 has definitely more armor. They had to fall back from that position, but this doesn't really matter. They seem to have gained ground here, but the problem is, many players don't realize that your job is to hold. That your job is exactly to hold the positions. So if someone were to, let's say, push a real infantry unit up here, which can actually move the front line, because Panzerschrecks aren't moving the front line. If someone would do this, this would be captured. So one flag less for the Axis. He's doing it right. He's trying to hold this flag, but are we gonna see another flag fall there? Yeah, of course we do. We do indeed. So he's cleared the town out, so this is even faster now. A minor victory, or a minor defeat, which is not really a clue for me, because you can apply the lessons of the game onto this. Also, what you should at least do twice, what you should do at least once this game, you should deploy as Axis or as Soviets/Allies in this town here an infantry unit, because it's gonna move this flag. It's definitely either way, they directly position their tanks on this flag, which is not really something you should do except you're German. But even then, it's a risky maneuver. You should position your infantry units on that flag. We have again a Sukharov coming in, and again we have more AA coming in. But is this gonna be enough to defend? Yes, it is. It is indeed. Also, we have new Gepards coming up. So this is now getting his. He's getting an ME-109, and this is definitely doing great deal of damaging those. He's trying to basically kill it through HE, which is possible, but it is, to say it simple, killing tanks with HE is not an impossible task. It is entirely possible, so to say, but it is not. It is entirely possible, but you need tons of HE. So that's why so they used a little trick on the AT planes. They have no AP value, but they have, as far as I know, they used the trick on the one hit and this might, one good hit and this might go down. One good hit and this might go down, and it went down. Congrats. You have one of these annoying guns less. Has someone gone for counter-artillery, or was he actively countering? Oh, he was actively countering. That's interesting, that's really interesting. He was actively countering that thing. So you can occupy the whole position here, but this doesn't matter if you don't have this flag and that flag. The Allies don't have priorities, or refuse to have their priorities. This is striking with place combat weaponry, which is quite good and quite bad. Quite good simply because they can penetrate Tigers. Quite bad because it's very unlikely that they're even gonna get in range of these tanks in most cases, because the players are gonna realize the front line doesn't shift and then decide to, well, maybe it's better. They're slowly but surely running out of AP. They might kill one or another with that, but they're running out of AP, and that's a good thing on these teams. They have armor as fuck, they have penetration as fuck, but they've sooner or later gun out of AP. And that's really good thing. That's when you can basically RT their transport, and this is where game's done. You should have positioned an AT gun next to. You should have positioned some infantry in the middle. You should have positioned some infantry in the town at the beginning. It was lucky for the Axis that it pulled out in their favor. No, I don't want it to go battle groups. I wanted to go armory. Because there we have all the nasty stuff that I wanted to show you. But the Soviets are gonna be turned off. So tanks, please, tanks. So we have the T6 Tiger. We have the T-34E, which are quite good for town rushes and which are quite good for close quarters combat, because they're firstly cheap and secondly at this range anything's gonna punch through your armor. And this is what I meant with IS-2s. These are basically not your standard IS-2s. They have a higher fire rate of 1 round a minute more, which is, let's say, better, because 3 rounds a minute is a little bit low, and they have also quite better fire rate, so yeah. As far as I know, they basically mounted on the 43 the barrel of an AT gun, an artillery gun on the, interestingly to say so. I'm quite surprised this can't engage airplanes because the gun on the Shermans can actually engage airplanes in this game, which I wouldn't recommend because if that happens, they've even gotten quite too close. So they used the 43 instead of the better 44 variant, which has also a bit more accuracy. They do the same damage, they do the same suppression, they have the same blast, they have the same range, they have the same traverse, but they have a higher fire rate and a higher accuracy. Next, let's go for air. Let's look what the air does. At air, we got, let's compare this, let's compare the yaks, with 1B yak, the AA yak, the AA Spitfire, the AT Spitfire, sorry, HESAP rockets. Where is it? Where is it? Where can I see if someone has rockets? Let's find some rocket planes. No. LTM, yeah, this is better. Is this, I don't know if this, what this cluster is supposed to be, but let's compare the HE rockets and the ASAP rockets on these against each other. So what comes to mind is they have the same accuracy, they have the same they have the same the HE rocket has more they have the same rate of fire, they have the same range, they have the same accuracy, but they have the same they have a higher damage, so I think it has something to do with the blast radius, so it is easier. So I think this plane does also kill with HE because it has an A penetration. It isn't armor piercing. It does suppression, but I think it's the blast. The blast. Let's see what blast is. Yeah, so they have higher damage with higher blast, so they basically hit in a larger radius. This means they in a lesser radius, which means it has less punch. It has more punch on this radius. This means it is very more likely to penetrate a thing like that. The same thing is with, in my opinion, with cluster. I think it's a mass that you see that does the damage. Because you can basically, cluster is basically a one hit in this game. If your pilot is not panicked. This would also, my theory would be also be helped by the techniques that by the fact that sometimes panicked aircraft hit but they don't kill. there are more targets, even if it's two, which is normally enough to kill a tank. So this is my theory, that they are panicked in that case, and then they basically go. Then they basically get panicked and get a higher dispersion rate from that. So this is quite interesting how these game mechanics work. I'm quite interested in how some of these game mechanics work. So this was a fun match. Tune in next time. Leave a subscription. I know most of you won't, because for reasons, but well, it's never too late to consider that. And if you liked it, leave a like.